Our goal for today is to use anatomical terms to describe body sections, body regions, and relative positions. Our second goal is to identify major body cavities and their subdivisions. When we look at the directional terms, there are some that are very important to us. Anterior means the front surface. Ventral also means the front surface or the belly side. Posterior or dorsal means the back surface. Cranial or cephalic means head. Superior means above or at a higher level towards the head. Caudal means the tail or coccyx in humans. Inferior means below or at the lower level. Mid-sagittal or sagittal means toward the body's longitudinal axis, and that's also medial. Medial also means towards the body's longitudinal axis or mid-sagittal plane. Lateral means away from the body's longitudinal axis or away from the mid-sagittal plane. Proximal means closer to or toward an attached base, where distal means away from an attached base. Superficial means near or relatively close to the body surface, and deep means further away from the body surface. Here are some examples of anterior and posterior, cranial and caudal. This is a lateral view. And on the right side, we see medial, lateral, and proximal and distal. There are three planes in the human body. The transverse or horizontal plane cuts the body into top and bottom or transversely. Mid-sagittal or sagittal plane cuts the body into right and left and divides the body into the right side and the left side and goes right through the nose and the heart. The frontal plane cuts right through the body and separates the body into a front or anterior surface and posterior surface, or front and back. It passes through the skull and the ears. Here are the images of the three planes: the frontal plane, the sagittal plane, and transverse plane. And finally, the body cavities. You can see the thoracic cavity, the abdominal pelvic cavity. Within the thoracic cavity, we have the pericardial cavity, which holds the heart, and we can see it from different angles. We also see the abdominal cavity and the pelvic cavity, and we're able to see that. We can see how the diaphragm is the muscle that separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal pelvic cavity. Finally, here we have anatomical position. We have the anterior ventral view and the posterior dorsal view. You can see the definition for anatomical position is standing erect with the palms facing forward and the feet together. And the posterior example is the body erect, and in this case, the palms facing backward and the heels together, and that's the posterior view, and that is called anatomical position.